Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get started. We're a little bit over time already, so please do take your seats if you haven't already done so. We are now officially starting. So, my name is Dan Little. I'm just going to give you a short overview of what to expect over the week and introduce the event for you just over the next few minutes. Firstly, where are we? Singapore. I thought I'd give just a few facts about Singapore where we are today. Singapore is both a city and a country, or what's known as a city-state. There's some disagreement on the number of modern city-states that still exist, but Singapore is the largest of the three most commonly accepted ones, the other two being Monaco and the Vatican City. Singapore is comprised of 64 islands, although only 3 of those remain inhabited, and of the rest, 7 are for military use, while 10 are artificial or reclaimed land. Singapore has the highest home ownership rate in the world, with the largest statistics putting it over 90%. A significant portion of those are government-built and managed houses or flats under HDB, the Housing and Development Board, who, by the way, are here in attendance today. Buildings in Singapore have a height limit of 280 meters. The Tanjong Pagar Centre is the only exception, having been given special permission to rise over the height limit. It stands at 290 meters tall and is recognized as the tallest building in Singapore. Singapore is known for its commitment to green space and is considered one of the world's greenest cities. In fact, approximately 25% of the country is covered by trees, and there's even a national tree planting day on the first Sunday of November each year. Singapore has its own language, Singlish, which I guess many of you may have heard, which is a mix of English and other languages spoken in the region. 20 plus Singlish words have even made their way into the Oxford English Dictionary. And one of those words, or combination of words, is hawker centre. Singapore is the largest hawker centre hub in the world. And if you haven't yet visited one of the many centres around the city, get speaking to the locals that are here today to receive some of their recommendations. And last but not least, Singapore is home to what has been frequently ranked as the world's best airport. So if you have time to pass when you're leaving the country, do take some time to visit some of the many activities and sites on offer within the airport itself. So, the days ahead, we do have a busy few days. Fortunately, today are no tough choices to make. We're going to be in this room for the duration of today. But come tomorrow and leading into Thursday, there will be up to 4 tracks running in parallel. So you will be able to choose which sessions you want to join. We'll round off the event on Thursday by all gathering back here in this room for a closing. And that is before we head off for the final social event of the week, which is the Summit Dinner. The Summit Dinner is to be hosted at the Marina Bay Sands, very famous icon you can see in the picture there. The dress code is smart casual for those that are going, and the easiest way there from here is by taxi. Welcome drinks start from 7 p.m, so please don't be late to make the most of that. And just note that it is a strictly ticketed event, so please ensure you do have a ticket before traveling to the dinner. The timings throughout the week are going to be the same each day. So we start at 9 a.m, we finish at 5:30 p.m. every day. The composition of each day is that there are 4 sessions, each of 90 minutes. There are 2 breaks, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, each 30 minutes. And there is a 90-minute lunch. For those of you who regularly attend our summits, you'll notice that the lunch is longer. It's a little bit of a walk from here, just a few minutes, but it also gives you that extra time to socialize and interact with the other attendees. It's a very big venue here, so I appreciate this map might not be so easy to see on the screens, but it is available in the event app as well. Breaks, morning and afternoon, will take place on this floor just past the registration desk where you will have checked in. The lunch is in Expo Hall 3, which is, as I said, a few-minute walk from here. That's where the BuildTech Asia, or BTA event, as you may hear it referred to, is taking place. If you haven't already done so, you do need to collect a BTA badge as well. You are all registered for the event. You just need to go and sign in and collect your badge. It's important because you won't be able to get into the lunch area without it. So you need 2 badges. This is your second reminder. And that's also where our event sponsors are located. So please do take the opportunity to go and visit their booths. I'd like to just take a moment to thank all of them, our Platinum event partners, our 4 gold sponsors, 3 silver sponsors, all of whom, the platinums, the golds, and the silvers, have a booth in BuildTech Asia. And then additionally, our cocktail and bronze sponsor. So thank you so much to all the sponsors. This event wouldn't be possible without their support. But actually, if you do want to know what's happening, where, when, the best thing you can do is download the app. I've got the QR codes up there on the screen. If you don't have a chance to scan them before I move to the next slide, they are also available at the registration desk. So please do download the app. Once you get inside, this is what it looks like. You'll see an overview of the event. You'll be able to join any session that's happening live from the home screen. And then if you click on schedule down the bottom in the middle, you're able to see the whole overview of the week. From there, you can bookmark the sessions that you would like to attend so that you have your own schedule, easy to attend. And then if you click explore at the bottom on the last right button, there are more options where the floor plan that I just shared is located, and also replay, so you'll be able to watch the recordings of any sessions, should now be available in the app, which is a new feature. So fingers crossed that works and is available come tomorrow. We will try and publish the recordings from each day by the next day. So that leads me to my last slide. If anything hasn't been clear, is missing, or if you still have questions, these are some of the people that you can ask for help over the week. From the organizing committee, there's myself, Sheila, and Aidan from buildingSMART International, and Vanessa, Eugene, and Taifat from buildingSMART Singapore. Then we have more representatives here from buildingSMART International. The ones you're most likely to encounter this week are Yusheng, John, and Laura, who will be moderating the breakout rooms over the next 2 days, and Stephen, who's supporting with the PCERT booth and exams. So that's enough from me. Thank you all for joining us. And next up, I would like to welcome to the stage my colleague and good friend, buildingSMART International's Marketing Director, Aidan Mercer.
I just noticed Dan didn't have his badges on, so if anyone sees him trying to get lunch without his badges, then you can pull him up on his own policy. Anyway, we hope you are not suitably lost. I was the first couple of times I came here, but it wouldn't be a buildingSMART summit if we weren't a little bit lost, hopefully not too lost throughout the week. But yeah, I just want to welcome you to Singapore as well. My name is Aidan Mercer. I'm the Marketing Director of buildingSMART International, and I'm going to be talking to you today a little bit about progress with openBIM, which I think is probably one of the nicest parts of my role. So yeah, I just want to thank everybody for being here. I would like to thank buildingSMART Singapore, Constello, for working with us on this partnership with BuildTech Asia. Absolute professionalism is first class, and it's been really an honor to do that. I'd like to thank my team, the organizing committee as well, and of course our sponsors who support this, and of course you, the attendees here, and actually for those online as well, thank you for joining. We're here to talk a bit about openBIM and some of the progresses we've made. But what do we mean by openBIM? So not everyone is fully cognizant of what openBIM actually means. Well, it's about having easy to adopt standards and services that work for users. It ensures that data is usable for users. So data has to be usable within daily practice. And it gives users full control of their data. So having full access of your information is really about was really the purpose of openBIM. And of course, at the heart of it, it's really about interoperability. So allowing collaboration between software vendors. We've got quite a lot of sessions this week around interoperability and actually putting a lot of software companies on stage to actually ask them questions related to what their strategies are around interoperability. So this is really a key component of openBIM. But if we think about the context of openBIM within our industry, we are obviously here to develop global standards and services to make this interoperable, accessible, enduring set of data to improve decision-making, automation, and efficiencies that help us deliver a more sustainable and sort of less expensive built environment. So the context by which we operate at buildingSMART is very, very important within the context of our industry. And of course, all of you know that very well because you're practitioners within that, and you all contribute to this industry using these open standards. So let's reflect a little bit about what we've sort of collectively achieved. And this is obviously something I just want to really highlight today. In the last 12 months or so, we've had 4 new chapters join. These chapters help to ensure that standards and services are implemented within country, that they're supported, and that openBIM becomes a sort of embodiment of that chapter. So 4 new chapters in Kazakhstan, Iceland, Greece, and Ecuador. It's fantastic to be welcoming them to our network, and we of course expect more chapters to join in the near future. IFC 4.3 was officially approved as an ISO standard last year, which of course is a massive milestone for buildingSMART. As soon as it gets that level of recognition, we know that it's a world-class standard. We also finalized IDS as a standard. So this information delivery specification, of course, is a huge milestone for us. And I'm sure I can't actually see because the lights are very bright, but just by show of hands, how many people have developed an IDS in the room? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, a few more hands coming up. Okay. Not as many as I thought, but certainly would recommend that you use IDS and start to work with these standards and services. We also launched an IFC validation service, which is an online platform to check the model quality of the IFC against the schema. And we also had some updates related to the professional certification program. We published the entry-level training. We updated the foundation course content and published learning content for practitioner training. So some pretty big milestones, of course, within the training program as well. We also successfully completed Accelerator Program project. And actually, we'll be hearing from this Feynman project, which many might have heard about or even was participating in Valencia last year. We actually delivered a lot of the work packages for that to actually implement openBIM on one of Europe's largest infrastructure projects. So really nice that at scale you can actually implement openBIM as such a major project. We also delivered an IFC 5 hackathon. We'll be hearing a lot more around IFC 5 and some of the future standards. And we've also been listening and making our website more easy to use. We've been publishing content that supports that and making sure that the domains and what is published out of there, and specifically the use cases and the industry requirements, are also published on our website. Of course, we couldn't do this, though, without our members, and these organizations support the work that we do, and this is absolutely vital to continue the work in delivering this progress. So without these organizations, we couldn't do this, so we want to thank them very much for their contributions. And of course, a lot of the work that is developed in these domains that we have, a lot of the experts that we have contributing to these topics come through these domains. And I just encourage you over the next couple of days to actually participate, go into these rooms. It may not be a domain that you're familiar with, but go and learn, go and figure out what is happening within other domains and actually contribute to these because they're open. We'll also be encouraging future domains, and I believe we'll be having our first working group around the energy domain as well. So please go and interact and start to build the network there. And of course, if you're interested, you can also join and contribute to those domains as well. We also have a growing partnership network as well. So these are really, really important for us to ensure that we are reaching into other industries and other contexts. So these partnerships that span various different disciplines are really fundamental to buildingSMART and buildingSMART International because we see that as a way to engage expertise, to bring more resources to our community. And of course, having that relationship with these types of organizations, I think is really, really critical. So we expect this number to grow in the coming months and years and hope that that brings some value. I actually need to create a new slide for this because this is now getting uncontrollable, but it's a good sign, right? So this is more progress with openBIM. We're seeing more chapters joining. This allows us to have this international reach. Of course, this is a key component to the work that we do, but I just want to acknowledge and thank all of those chapters for all the contributions they've done for many, many years. And sometimes these are new chapters as well that really want to join the fold. So please welcome new chapters into buildingSMART International, make them feel welcome. And of course, I look forward to the next 6 months in giving a progress on this growth as well, because we expect more to join. The chapters have actually been very busy as well, supporting a project that we've been doing around global openBIM mandates. So we've just, as of a couple of days ago, published our 2025 edition of global openBIM mandates. If you'd like to check it out, this is a document that has been supported again by our chapters, and it's designed to represent openBIM within country, within projects, to show how, for example, openBIM, IFC, these open standards are actually used in country. And we just added the Dubai example, and Calvin will be running a session tomorrow at 11 a.m. So please go and check that one out as well and contribute to that really important topic. But in this context of these standards, we actually call this the openBIM workflow. And so you'll probably hear this a few times. So I thought I'd set down how it might look in practice for a user. So if you're a user, you want to utilize something like IDS, you would develop your information requirements using this, this format. So this machine interpretable format allows you to create your information requirements. Again, I've always said this, that I created one, so therefore anyone can do it. If I'm the lowest common denominator, then you can definitely do it too. This will help to develop the information that you need that can be produced as an IFC model. So creating this data set in an IFC format can be produced, and you can review and share topics or related to the sort of communication and collaboration using the BCF, the BIM collaboration format. And you can share this using a suite of APIs under the OpenCDE umbrella. You can improve the information, reference different terms and types using the buildingSMART data dictionary, and you can upload that information to see how valid that IFC model is. So this is what we encapsulate as the openBIM workflow. So you'll hear a lot of that today. This is essentially what we mean when we're making things usable for people. We support that through various programs, these enablers, openBIM enablers. If you're developing an IDS, for example, within your industry, you can upload that to our use case management service and share your best practice so that other people can learn from that industry how things are done. You can select various software based on the software certification to support your interoperable workflows as well. And you can align your processes using something like the Accelerator program and upskill your workforce with the professional certification. So we have this context of the openBIM workflow, and we have these enablers of our programs to support this. A lot of the work that we do, a lot of the progress we do is related to trying to improve a lot of these components within that. I mentioned that we had a hackathon. This is actually you're the first people to see the sneak peek promo video of this. And this was in Budapest last month at the Implementers Assembly. And it was held at the Graphisoft building in Budapest. And we invited software enthusiasts and people within our implementers forum to actually come and start to exchange ideas and knowledge and learn about the future of IFC and IFC5. Really delighted to say, of course, we'll be hearing more at this summit, but I'm delighted to say that there was these first exchanges in the IFC5 format that actually were done for the first time. So a pretty historic moment. However, I would like to sort of caveat that with that we see interoperability as having no version number. So we support and develop multiple versions of IFC all at once. So yes, we're developing future standards to future-proof the industry, but at the same time, we're supporting users in how they use the standards. So this is ultimately our responsibility as an industry body. There's no single version prioritized, and IFC5, for example, will coexist with other standards, and users essentially have the choice of which version they want to use. And this is the element of openBIM that has that flexibility built in. So again, very important that we do that. And on that, we, of course, have other standards that I mentioned earlier, the IFC 4.3 standard, which is now ISO approved. This is ultimately work that we continue to do through the Implementers Assembly, as you saw there, making sure that vendors support the standard, delivering this wonderful opportunity for infrastructure projects. We develop this on accelerator projects, as I mentioned, the IFC 4.3. We utilize a validation service to check that models comply with the IFC 4.3 standard. We're developing global software certification, again, to support this, and support through the buildingSMART data dictionary as well. So a huge amount of support going on alongside the IFC 4.3 standard. But are you feeling brave? So that's the question I have for you today as well, is if you're interested in learning more about IFC 5, there is a course you can enroll on today. I think it's free to do, so please consider doing that. You'll get information about IFC 5, you'll test your knowledge, your experience, and start to really fully understand how IFC 5 may look in the future as well. So please consider enrolling on the course and yeah, test yourself. We also mentioned about professional certification, and we've obviously been producing globally lots of entry-level badges. Hopefully a lot of you have got those. Content has been developed through our foundation program, has been updated and improved all the time, and working on management new curricula, so stay tuned on that in development. And of course, we launched the openBIM practitioner as well. Of course, lots of work being done led by Celine Bent from the buildingSMART international team, and really fantastic to see some of these sort of opportunities for the industry to actually adopt and learn more about openBIM being made available. And of course, then I would invite you to also feel brave at the summit. If you don't have your foundation certificate, for example, please consider taking the foundation exam at the summit. So for anyone that doesn't know, you can come to this summit and walk away with a certificate of your foundation. If you do not have your foundation, badge, please consider registering. There's a crash course here that you'll be taken tomorrow at 9 a.m. tomorrow in the room just up there with Cornelius, who's the chair of buildingSMART Germany and leading the PSERT activities. And consider trying to obtain your foundation certificate. I think there are limited places, so first come, first serve on registering for that. And now we have some really nice, exciting news to share with you that Evandro, many of you will know, Evandro Alfieri is named the Quality and Delivery Director. So we'll be joining the leadership team at buildingSMART International, and we'll be really overseeing a lot of the critical roadmap initiatives. So it's really important that we add some element of expertise and closeness to users to ensure that we can align that with the roadmap that we develop. So Evandro is here. Please go and talk to Evandro. And yeah, we're very delighted that he can join. We've also just published this morning, I didn't even have time to put the QR code on there, but on our website, you'll see we've just signed an MOU with Women in BIM. Fantastic to be working with this organization. They're actually supporting the final session today, and we're really excited about working with Women in BIM. And again, back to our network, growing the network that we can. I'm also delighted to say that this morning we also launched our awards program. So if you want to share your progress with openBIM, why don't you do that through our awards program? We will be adjudicating and working through the process that will culminate in the final awards program at the Berlin Summit. And please do consider submitting your project and getting your example of openBIM into us as well, so we can share that. Also really delighted to say that in 12 months' time, we'll be in Portugal, in Porto. So thank you to the buildingSMART Portugal chapter. It's going to be fantastic that we're going to be in Portugal. I'm told that they do good Porto wine, red and white. So if you like that, please do come and sample that. But for other reasons, let's continue the journey with openBIM. We'll do that in Portugal. So great that we'll be there as well. So we go from Porto into our future summit in 6 months in Berlin. And I hope a lot of you can join us in Germany. Well, with that, I'm really thank you for your attention, and really enjoyed sharing some openBIM updates. I have one final update that we, of course, have appointed a new interim CEO in the shape of Jaan Saar, and I would like to welcome Jaan to the stage, and would like to hand over the clicker so he can talk a bit about some of his priorities.
Thank you, Aidan. You saved me a lot of time of giving a great update on the wonderful work buildingSMART community has done. And it's an incredible honor and a pleasure to be here in front of you. To be honest, I didn't think I'd be here when I was at the Marrakesh summit, especially as interim CEO, to be honest. And well, it says interim, but it feels, I often feel like it's an intern position. I feel like an intern at times, learning always about the intricacies of buildingSMART International and buildingSMART community. And as you saw, buildingSMART has done an incredible amount of progress. openBIM is more used than ever. It is being adopted across the globe by governments. It is adopted more and more by industry. It is integrated more and more into software, into workflows. But at times it feels we have maybe done a bit too much in too short of a time frame. And I think I've been thinking about, okay, what's my role as an interim CEO? What am I here to do? Because we already have an incredible leadership team. And I'm extremely proud to work beside them with Leon, Aidan, Celine, Evandro, all of them are here today. And the whole buildingSMART International staff and team as well. So, and that was one of the key reasons why I actually accepted this position, is to work beside them, because I admire them. Their dedication, their passion that drives buildingSMART International. Another reason is the community around it. It's the chapters. It's you guys. And as Aidan told me, some of you have flown in, have spent not 20, even 30 hours to get here, which is incredible. Like 30 hours here and back is over 60 hours. That is like a whole work week almost, depending on where you live, of course. But yeah, that I admire the passion. I admire the drive that this community has. And it also makes it a little bit complicated because we are huge. We, as Aidan just said, we have 37 chapters and we're growing. We have a lot of members, and this means we have a lot of interests within the community. And at times, these interests are maybe not fully aligned. They are slightly, pulled by different agendas, different directions. So that's why I think this year is really about realigning and having focus on what we do. And I know Leon has told me a lot that, we've been saying this message over and over again. But I'm going to be honest with you. And really, when I was talking to Patrick, when I started in this position, I asked him for advice. Everybody knows Patrick McLeamy. And he was being modest as usual. He said, well, what kind of advice can I give you? I can just talk and do stuff. And I really love Patrick. But actually, he gave me some of the best advice ever. He said, whatever you do, be honest. And don't be afraid to take on the hard tasks. And that's what I've realized, that this is not a nice job, to be honest. It's a hard job, but that's okay, because that's why I'm here. That's why you have also an interim CEO, is not for the nice conversations. It's for the difficult conversations. It's for the hard conversations. And when you're trying to align, gain focus again, that means you're going to have a lot of these difficult conversations. And I look forward to them with a smile, because I'm always positive, and I do believe in this community, and I see that there's so much potential here, so much we can achieve, and really everything is still ahead of us. So, but coming back now to the role of buildingSMART, I sent out a communication a little while ago where I emphasized that buildingSMART International actually has one primary role, and that is to be an industry body responsible for developing open data standards that deliver interoperable solutions to our industry. So we are first and foremost a technical standards organization. And I know there is another side. Our secondary role is to support the adoption and application of openBIM standards and services by our members and users. And this is where I think a lot of frustration comes from, because we do have still some frustration as well in the community with chapters, with some members, but it's normal. I mean, it's like a family, right? You sometimes you nag, sometimes you haggle, but in the end, everybody still loves each other because we all have the same common cause. But you can't have two organizations in one. You have to pick. And this is, I think, what we have to do. And these primary and secondary role, these have been agreed with the leadership team. They've been agreed with the board of directors. So this is my job, my responsibility now to see this through, see that we are aligned so we can go further, faster together. This means we have set a few priorities for 2025 as well. It means, and they're listed here. They were also in the letter, but I'm just going to quickly go through them. I know Dan is already getting nervous because my timer is in the red, but I'm sure, well, I mean, CEO's got to have some benefits, right? So going a few minutes over, maybe not the worst thing, but I'll try and be quick, Dan. Sorry. And by the way, he does an incredible job organizing these events. Really great. Back to priorities, refining domains. There is so much value to be gained from these domains. And there's so much incredible work put into it, mostly often by volunteers. And this is what drives a lot of buildingSMART. This is really the lifeblood of the community. And we owe a huge debt of gratitude to these volunteers who put in, again, because of passion, because of what they believe in, the interoperability, the mission of buildingSMART. But we do have to also value their time. So we have to take an overview. We have to understand what is the core value of the domains and how can we better harness that. So we will be refining domains to optimize and to have a better impact of the work being done in the domains. Because to be honest, there are good domains, there are maybe not so good domains, so which can be a bit more efficient. So we want to take time to realign this. Advancing IFC 5. We had in the leadership team, we had a discussion whether it should be the first priority or whether the second, or they're not in, let's say, a clear priority list. But we all agreed that refining domains should be first, though. But IFC 5 is clearly on one of the top. And I know there's a lot of discussion about, how do we support the other standards. Aidan did a good job of emphasizing that this doesn't mean we're only focusing on IFC 5. And that's another maybe issue we have in the community, because there's a lot of narratives going around. There's a lot of rumors. People say this, people hear that. And we should stop that. If you have a question, we have a leadership team. Ask them directly. If you hear something that, well, they said they don't do this or they don't do that, verify it. Question it. Ask directly. Ask me. Ask Leon. Ask Aidan. Ask Celine. Evandro. All the communication channels are open. IFC 5 is the future of buildingSMART. And you have to adapt, you have to evolve. Technology is changing faster than ever. And as a technical standards organization, first and foremost, it is our job to also go along with the times, to prepare for not just today or yesterday, but for tomorrow. This means also a lot of work has to be done on educating and disseminating this information, on working with the community. And that is why PCERT, professional certification, run by Celine, is incredibly important. And we want to invest more and more into this. Maintaining and improving existing standards and services. This is what Aidan was talking about. This is what I also emphasized, that I think Aidan said it really well. There is no version number to interoperability. And we're talking about, IFC 2x3 still being used by maybe even the majority of the world. So it is also an archiving format, because it's there, it's going to be backwards compatible. We need to ensure that to some extent. But I'm just going to watch my words, because if I start talking too technical, I'm out of my waters. So that's why you have to go and listen to Leon when you want to know more about the standards, how they develop, how they evolve. Optimizing project delivery. We did accelerated projects last year. And to be honest, it led our team. There was a lot of pressure on the team to deliver a lot. And this was difficult. So we need to optimize how we do those projects. And that's why I'm incredibly happy Evandro agreed to join the leadership team, because he's going to bring a lot of that quality and delivery, promise to deliver that we need within the projects. And last but not least, we also need to improve processes. We need a more simple, more efficient, and effective BSI process, and something that is aligned to CEN and ISO more. So, yeah. With that, I think, I went 7 minutes over my time, which is, I think I've gone more over time. But with that, I welcome all the difficult discussions we need to have, some of them with chapters, some with maybe also members, with community. But we are here to support each other. We're here with the same common goal for interoperability, to have better collaboration within the community. And this is a unique thing about buildingSMART, that there is no other organization like this in the world. So this is an opportunity, and we should take this opportunity to align, to focus, and to be stronger going ahead together in the future. And this also means that we need the chapters, we need the volunteers, but the chapters also need buildingSMART International, because we are the connecting glue, I think, to all the global initiatives here. But I look forward to a lot of talks with you, not only the uncomfortable ones, I really look forward to the pleasant ones as well. And see you around at the summit, and hopefully get to meet closer with each and every one of you. Thank you. Sorry about the time.
Thank you, Jan. Okay, let's not waste any time. Let's move on to the next speaker. We've talked a little bit about our collaboration with BuildTech Asia. And to talk a little more to that, I would like to invite to the stage Paul Lee, who is Chief Executive Markets at Constella. Paul.
Thank you, Dan. Chairman of buildingSMART International, Yen Hao, CEO of buildingSMART International, Jaan Saar, President of buildingSMART Singapore, Eugene, Seah, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and a warm welcome to the buildingSMART International Summit here in Singapore. It is an honor to be among global leaders, experts and advocates shaping the future of openBIM and digital construction. ASEAN's construction industry is at a critical juncture, facing increasing pressure to enhance productivity, navigate regulatory complexities, and accelerate sustainability efforts, all while undergoing digital transformation. openBIM stands at the forefront of this evolution, offering a pathway to seamless collaboration, cost efficiency, and smarter asset management. This summit is more than just a gathering. It is a dynamic platform for meaningful discussions and knowledge exchange on how we can collectively address these challenges by strengthening the role of openBIM as a universal standard that fosters interoperability, efficiency, and collaboration amidst different stages of transformation within the sector. Your collective expertise and contributions are laying the foundation for a smarter, more connected, and sustainable future for the built environment. To truly advance openBIM, we must move beyond discussion and into real-world application, demonstrating its value through practical solutions, interoperability, and partnerships across key stakeholders in the built environment. The co-location with BuildTech Asia 2025 with the summit creates a seamless event experience and an unparalleled opportunity to bridge insights with implementation. By bringing the global conversation of openBIM together with one of Southeast Asia's leading trade events for the built environment, we empower industry peers to explore synergies that drive collective action and amplify impact. This convergence not only fosters deeper knowledge exchange, but also accelerates openBIM through case studies, partnerships, and live demonstrations. Our 14th edition of BTA this year is designed around 3 core pillars: innovate, sustain, and transform, each addressing the industry's most pressing challenges. You can look forward to product showcases from 100 exhibiting brands from 16 countries, including sponsors for the summit, as well as a curated lineup of expert-led forums and hands-on workshops. Specifically, you will be able to innovate with emerging digital technologies and AI-driven solutions that redefine energy efficiency and enhance infrastructure. Sustain your operations through electrification, carbon reporting, and circular practices that encourage material use, reuse, and waste reduction. And lastly, empower your workforce to transform through upskilling, best practices, and pioneering safety innovations. As we embark on this journey together, I would like to invite you to engage with our exhibitors, exchange ideas, and explore potential opportunities that will further accelerate the adoption of openBIM. The future of our industry depends on collaboration, and together we can build a more efficient, resilient, and sustainable built environment. Once again, our sincere thanks to buildingSMART International and buildingSMART Singapore for your partnership. We are pleased to share that buildingSMART Singapore and Constella will be signing a memorandum of understanding to explore further synergies in curating and developing future content platforms, advancing interoperability and AI in the built environment. We're excited to contribute the discussion on what more we can do together to drive transformation, break new grounds, and build a new, smarter, and more connected future. I wish all of you an insightful and productive summit, and I look forward to seeing you at the show BTA 2025. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Paul. And I can say it's been a real pleasure to work with you and your team with our collaboration, and really glad that you've got that memorandum of understanding to be signed. All right, next up, we have a speech from one of our Platinum event partners. I'd like to invite Marc Nézet, Group Chief Strategy Officer and Chief Division Officer O&M at Nézet. Marc, thank you.
Good morning. Very happy to be together with you today. I did not think about it earlier, but when I was reflecting on let's say the short presentation I will be sharing with you and reflecting on buildingSMART International, the acronym BSI, I was finally thinking that this presentation is about bridging sustainable innovation. BSI for BSI. Let's hope the clicker can work. It worked at the repetitions. It has to work right now. So I'm Marc Nézet, Chief Strategy Officer at Nézet. Very happy to be with you. What is Nézet about? Everybody thinks a tech company has to be a young company. So we've been founded 60 years ago. Our founder, Professor Dr. Nézet, an entrepreneur, a university professor as well, will celebrate this year his 91st anniversary. So tech is also about patience, persistence, commitment, all ingredients that we need to support as well an openBIM and interoperable world. Nézet itself is a world of interoperability and openness across iconic brands serving architects, structural engineers, builders, and building operators. So among those very famous brands, probably a lot of you knows Archicad, Vectorworks, Allplan, Solibri, Dirofus, BIM Plus, BIMX, Spacewell. This is the universe of Nézet. We all know today that interoperability is a key challenge. This is what we owe architects, structural engineers, builders of all kinds, specialty contractors as well, and building operators in order to seamlessly improve their work across the building life cycle. The digital twin is a form of representation, overlayering of data, which is also in itself a statement towards interoperability. Sustainability. Why should we absolutely digitize and bring productivity to our processes without, at a marginal additional cost, investing as well in sustainability workflow? Tackling not only the challenge of efficiency, productivity, but also tackling the challenge of building a sustainable, livable, and a world ready as well to facing climate change impact. AI is not a goal, AI is a mean to achieve interoperability, overlayering or complex layering of data, and sustainable workflows. Now I would want also to have a pause of 1 minute, and each of us could reflect a little bit on that statement. AI is not a territory of fear. It's not a territory of mistrust. AI is an amazing opportunity for our entire industry. It helps us to revisit knowledge. If only our industry knew what our industry knows, first of all, we would not need standards and we would not need buildingSMART International, but we need buildingSMART International, we need openBIM in order to support knowledge management across our industry. And AI is an amazing lever on that. Under two aspects. One, labor shortage, also the demographic in many geographies in our industry could take better advantage from knowledge management through AI. The second element, we always thought that a mechanical engineer is an expert based on his vertical knowledge. Structural engineer, the same. An architect, the same. An electrical engineer, deep knowledge in his domain is a sense of expertise. Interoperability is about transverse, cross-disciplinary, making sure that the systems and the intelligence from the systems, the virtualization of a structural design together with an MEP design is making all those disciplinary more efficient and leading us to better decisions. This is the opportunity of AI. AI is an opportunity for our industry to revisit knowledge management. I will go super quickly on the sustainability topic, but as I stated earlier, our generation would miss a terrible chance to tackle two topics at the same time. We digitize, we bring AI, not only for efficiency, but also to make sure that we mitigate climate change impact, which is on the built environment immense. We need to address urban greening. We need to address flood risk mitigation. We need to address urban heat wave mitigation. We need to protect or to make durable infrastructure. We need, outside the cycle of the real estate industry, we need to reinvent the way we design buildings that could be repurposed. A commercial building in its life cycle could become a housing. Reverse, a logistics center might be tomorrow a store, and so on and so forth. So the way we think from a design stage and planning stage, the building of the purpose that can change along, let's say, its life cycle is one of the key challenges also we have to face. Singapore is a wonderful place, a wonderful venue to address those topics, as you know, the 80/80 plan. At Nézet, what we decided to do last year, we decided to go across all our brands, Archicad, Vectorworks, Allplan, Solibri, Dirofus, BIM+, BIMX, D-Twin, Spacewell, all those brands, and look at what are the levers that we could have to make sure that across all those specialties we address, we design, construct, and operate a world that's going to be meeting environmental challenge. And you can see that it starts and it resonates a lot with what Aidan was telling at the beginning. We all talk first about education. We all talk first about as well interoperability in the choice of material, in making sure that structural design, hybrid structures will be with lower embodied carbon, to make sure also that the choices of the system will enable an energy mix that will be supporting low emission under operation. We are extremely lucky at Nézet having vibrant customers. This is an example of a Japanese Tonomirai architects and the Oyaki farm that had been looking at local material sourcing, as well advanced energy and heat and ventilation and cooling capabilities. Another example, which is a Merc group in Germany, which is using our software for office space optimization. And when you know that when you optimize the space you use, when you optimize the space you service, you are a lot working on the carbon avoidance for any company. And on the top of it, we do as well energy monitoring for them. We saw AI as a tremendous opportunity to better manage knowledge. We saw as well AI coupled with sustainability as an opportunity also to address a generation shift challenge that we face. Now, as a software vendors, also as a community working on openBIM, we need to reflect and make sure that everything we do on leveraging AI is done with a strong sense of responsibility. And at Nézet, we decline the responsibilities on AI under 3 chapters. The first one is the data integrity of the software users. Architects, structural engineers, they own the project data. A mechanical engineer, an electrical engineer, their project, is a result of their work. And we need to have a sense of responsibility and protect their data. The second element, it means the usage of that data in any learning models. It's not trivial. We are not talking about a social network application. We are talking about liabilities, responsibilities, intellectual property rights. And at Nézet, we want absolutely an AI that would be trustworthy, ethical. It means we want to protect the IP rights. We want to protect the liabilities associated to the work of each and every single architect, structural engineer, and MEP also community. Last but not least, usually our average size of customers is around 10, what we call 10 seats. It means 10 engineers or 10 architects. Usually we don't face someone who is a head of procurement buying the software. Usually the entrepreneur, the founder, is choosing the software he likes. He's himself a user, a buyer. And what we need to do across utilization of AI is to protect his business integrity. He's an entrepreneur, exactly like our founder that I've been quoting at the beginning. Was also an entrepreneur. So we want to protect the business integrity and each and every single architect, structural engineer, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing one. And this is as well with this type of imperative in mind that is absolutely guiding us at Nézet to do our first step on AI. And you could discover on the booth on BuildTech Asia, our first AI agent will be released very soon. That is under beta version and the production, and that you could discover later on. Interoperability, I won't go through the 8 chapters. You can read them better than me. The Professor Dr. Nézet never integrated all our software company because he believes that users are different, that the one-size-fits-all is not a viable way. We want, as a chameleon, to take the color of the environment we embrace. At the same time, we understand that data flows, the necessity to bring productivity and better informed decision opportunities to our users gives us an imperative to be strongly aside buildingSMART International in a very and sincere openBIM commitment. The ecosystem, you know it. On the left, you have what is Nézet. On the right, you have a lot of, as an example, ecosystem. The interoperability agreement with Autodesk was a strong buzz last year, but it's not the only one. We are doing more than that. I thank you very much for your attention. I wish you a very productive summit. Enjoy the exhibition and enjoy our booth as well, and let's have together the commitment to drive our industry towards knowledge management, leveraging technology and interoperability to the benefit of our users. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Marc, for your presentation and indeed for the support from Nézet. Okay, next up, I would like to invite Ms. Jaan Saar, General Manager for the Science and Technology Department at CCCC, China Communications Construction Company.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Zhang from CCCC. I'm honored to share with you the technical innovation and development of CCCC. My talk covers 3 aspects: CCCC introduction, technical innovations, and a future vision. CCCC was founded in 1897. Is a world-leading super infrastructure service provider. Ranked the number 3 among year's top global contractors and the number 63 in the Fortune Global 500 list. CCCC engages in business in 157 countries and regions, has invested and completed over 3,000 projects. CCCC is the world's largest designer and builder for ports, highways, and bridges. It's also the largest international engineering constructor in Asia and the investor in expressway in China. Recently, we have completed a large number of major projects, including the world's largest offshore deep water port, Shanghai Yangshan ports, the world's longest sea crossing bridge, the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge. Since 2014, CCCC has made major efforts to digital transportation. We have established an overarching framework, created a research academy for smart engineering, a BIM center, and 20 sub-centers, covering 15 professional areas. CCC has held or contributed to more than 10 national and industrial build standards for highways, waterways, and airports. Last year, we launched the first BIM platform for the full life cycle of engineering projects in China's transportation infrastructure sector, named the Blue Journey BIM platform. We have planned over 50 products, with 24 already released. Blue Journey deploys 6 BIM design products for highways, already applied to over 320 projects. Blue Journey deploys 9 BIM design products for waterways and airports. It supports engineering, modeling, drawing, and quantity calculations. The platform has been applied in over 50 projects. In addition, we have independently developed a virtual construction system and a digital twin platform. Here are some typical engineering projects, including the Panama Force Bridge and the Babao ship lock in China. In March this year, we officially launched China's first multimodal film AI model for civil engineering and construction, called the Blue Wing model. It has multimodal perception capabilities. We are using the Blue Wing model to drive the deep integration of AI in various scenarios with the transportation infrastructure sectors, including the development of BIM application intelligent assistant, an AI-based automatic pavement distress detection application, the construction of a smart cloud factory for concrete, and more. We have also developed several application modules, including the CCCC AI Service Assistant, an AI knowledge Q&A module for infrastructure, construction, and more. Since 2017, CCCC has been deeply involved in international standardization activities with BSI. We led the development of the IFC standards for port and water wall, which became the latest version of ISO 16739. In September 2023, the maritime domain was officially established. A steering committee has been established. The first project of the maritime domain is researching IFC standard for immersed tunnels. The group is currently conducting research on the data exchange requirements, data structure, data exchange standards, software development, and project validation. Based on the previous PW1, we continue to deepen our research in the field of ports, navigable structures, and coastal projection. We are also working on the accelerator project with guidance from BSI. We held a series of sharing sessions and discussed the next steps together. In terms of the openBIM awards, the projects submitted by CCCC, including the Heishazhou Channel Improvement, the Panama Force Bridge, and Line 1 of the Bogota Metro, were all recognized by BSI experts. In the past few years, under BSI guidance, we have expanded from the FC port field to the maritime domain. We are now integrating various standards from different fields, such as ISO 19650 standard and BIM industry standards. Based on the openBIM's ecosystem, this aims to achieve true interoperability and seamless data exchange across software platforms. Using openBIM, we continue to drive technology innovation and improve the BIM platform to support all functions at different project stages. In the next stage, we will continue to push forward the work of the maritime domain, develop the immersed tunnel and port water wall FC2 standards, and work on integrating Chinese BIM standards into the BSDD data dictionary. We also look forward to strengthening cooperation with global partners, especially on marine engineering research, the Blue Journey platform, and the Blue Wing model development. In the future, CCCC will continue to support BS work and actively participate in BSDD data dictionary FC file and FC validation. We look forward to working together to create an open, transparent, and a collaborative BIM ecosystem, contributing CCCC wisdom and strength to global intelligent construction. Thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we now come to the last couple of presentations, and I do need to announce that we have a guest of honor joining us. If I could ask you please to all put your hands together to welcome Senior Minister of State Tan Kiat for the Ministry of National Development and the Ministry of Digital Development and Information. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And before we hear from SMS Tan Kiat, I would like to invite to the stage the President of buildingSMART Singapore, Eugene Seah.
Our guest of honor, Mr. Tan Kiat, Senior Minister of State for National Development and Digital Development and Infrastructure, Ian Howell, Chairman, buildingSMART International, Jaan Saar, Interim CEO, buildingSMART International, Chin Chi Leong, Deputy CEO, Building and Construction Authority, Chua Wee Pong, Group CEO, Constella, Paul Lee, CE Markets, Constella. Distinguished guests, speakers, presidents of various institutes, industry leaders, innovators, and colleagues. Good morning, and to all our foreign guests, welcome to our wonderful nation of Singapore. Today is a day of really learning, and this morning when Dan actually mentioned that Singapore is made of 64 islands, I had to take out my Google and check, yeah, we are 64, made of 64 islands. It is my honor to welcome all of you to the summit entitled openBIM to the Core. Today we gather as a community of architects, engineers, contractors, and digital leaders, pioneers, with one shared vision, is to push the boundaries of collaboration, transparency, efficiency in the built environment, especially in the area of open BIM and standards. BIM, Building Information Modeling, has transformed how we design, construct, and really manage our assets. But its true power really lies in its openness, open standards, collaboration, innovation. Open BIM is not just a technical approach. It's really a mindset that fosters interoperability and improves project outcomes and ensures that the industry is really future ready. In a world of rapid technology advancements, really siloed data and proprietary systems are a thing of the past, and they are really no longer sustainable. So we really must embrace open workflows and data-driven decision-making to meet challenges of urbanization, sustainability, and resilience. But we must not forget artificial intelligence. AI is really not a buzzword. It's really a game changer. And from generative designs, predictive analysis to automotive and digital twins, AI is really enhancing the capabilities of openBIM in ways we've really never imagined. I'm actually part of the FRS in NUS, and I've seen how AI, together with openBIM, can transform how cities are actually designed. It's really helping us optimize workflow, clash detections before it occurs, and helping us in building and infrastructure projects. But when openBIM and AI come together, it has really the potential to reshape the industry, the entire life cycle of the building, the built environment, making it faster, smarter, and definitely, again, more resilient. I'd like to take a quote from Spider-Man. Ben Parker said, "With great powers comes great responsibility." So in our case, with great potential comes great responsibility. As we integrate AI into our workflow, we must always remain committed to the openness, its ethics, as well as data governance. AI models are only as good as the data they are trained on. And openBIM standards provide this standardization that's actually needed to ensure AI-driven insights in openBIM. Now, throughout this summit, we will explore cutting-edge advancement, real-world cases, strategies on integrating of openBIM, and really at the core of all the projects. And I'm really interested to listen to the real-world cases that's coming up. We will hear from thought leaders who are shaping the future of digital construction and engage in meaningful discussions on how we can collectively change the way we work. We are also pleased to formalize a memorandum of understanding with Constella to pave the way for deeper collaboration in developing future content platforms that will accelerate interoperability and AI adoption and for the built environment for this region, at least for Singapore. So watch this space. And all this will end off with our gala dinner this Thursday as well at the Marina Bay Sands, as Dan has actually showed you. And we have also a little surprise in store for everybody. So this is more than a conference. I believe personally, this is actually a call for action. Together, we can actually break down these barriers and challenges that we are facing for openBIM adoption and really set new benchmarks to build future openness within the community. It's the standard that we're looking at. Before I end, I would also like to thank our guest of honor, Minister Tan, for taking his precious time off to grace this occasion. Thank you very much, sir. And I also like to thank all our sponsors for your support and contribution. For without your support, this summit will not take place. And also, lastly, to our partners, BuildTech Asia, Constella Exhibitions, for partnering us for this event. I also like to thank the Singapore Tourism Board, STB, for working with us very early in the days to really chorus this event. Thank you very much. Last but not least, I'd like to thank all you participants coming today. I hear some of you traveled more than 30 hours to come to Singapore. I hope dinner this Thursday must be good. And so European cities, the US, London, Kazakhstan, Poland, China, Hong Kong, India, Japan, and I hear also Brazil, right? So really, thank you very much. And on behalf of the organizing committee, thank you. So thank you very much for being part of this journey. Let's innovate together, collaborate, and really make openBIM to the core everything we do. Welcome to the openBIM to the Core Summit. Thank you. So it gives me great pleasure to invite our guest of honor, Senior Minister Tan, to the stage to address us. Minister, please.
Mr. Jaan Saar, Chairman, buildingSMART International, Mr. Jaan Saar, Interim CEO, buildingSMART International, Dr. Eugene Seah, President, buildingSMART Singapore, friends and partners from the built environment sector, a very good morning. And for all the guests who are visiting Singapore for the first time, a very warm welcome. It's our privilege to be able to host you, and we wish that your trip here will be productive and enjoyable. And for those of you who are visiting us again, welcome back. I hope you find something new and interesting in your visit to Singapore this time around. And for our Muslim friends in the audience who are during this observing the blessed month of Ramadan. Assalamualaikum, salam Ramadan kepada semua. A blessed Ramadan to all of you. Very happy to join you at the 2025 Building Smart International Summit. I'd like to thank Building Smart International and the Singapore chapter for organizing this summit and for partnering the government and the industry to drive digital transformation across the built environment sector. The last time Singapore had hosted the Building Smart International Summit was 10 years ago, and we are honored to be able to host this global dialogue again this year. Many countries, all of you, face similar challenges in achieving interoperability and seamless digital workflows within the built environment sector. And different jurisdictions adopt various approaches to address these challenges. And we look forward to hearing from experts, sharing our experiences, and learning from best practices around the world. Today, I would like to speak on our experience in two areas. First, in leveraging technology to drive integrated digital delivery, or IDD. And second, in supporting our firms to enhance their digital capabilities. The built environment sector is a highly complex and interdependent ecosystem that involves many stakeholders. As a result, stakeholders in the sector must deal with fragmented workflows, data silos, and inefficiencies from coordinating across multiple parties involved in the project. IDD is an important part of the solution. It involves a digital spine linking project stakeholders throughout the building life cycle. It leverages technologies such as the Building Information Modeling, or BIM, data standardization, and open data standards to enable seamless information exchanges, improve stakeholder collaboration, and support data-driven decision-making. Beyond improving efficiency and productivity, IDD advances the sector's goals in environmental sustainability. An example of such an application is digital carbon management, which integrates tools such as BIM, energy simulation, and carbon calculation software. This allows project teams to perform digital calculations of carbon emissions, simulate operational carbon outputs, and visualize carbon data associated with building projects. These capabilities allow the sector to better manage and reduce carbon emissions from building works. And that is why the built environment sector in Singapore is keen to benefit from the value of IDD. Together with the industry partners, the government has been pushing for IDD adoption in the sector. For example, we have developed data standards, provided funding support to firms adopting digital solutions that enable IDD, and importantly, promoted the use of IDD in regulatory submissions. We have made some good progress over the years. Singapore's core net system for regulatory submissions for building works was the first in the world to introduce electronic plan submissions more than 20 years ago. Over the years, we have made improvements to the core net platform. For example, the Building and Construction Authority, or BCA, was the first regulator in the world to accept 3D BIM submissions when this function was introduced in 2009. BIM enables project parties to reference and collaborate on the same digital building model. Putting all stakeholders on the same page not only allows design conflicts and miscommunication to be resolved at a much earlier stage, but also streamlines processes to save time and cost. That is why since 2013, more than 10 years ago, we have included a requirement for plan submissions with gross floor area, or GFA, of 5,000 square meter and above to adopt BIM. And this accounts for about 90% of the total GFA of all building plans in Singapore. However, the existing processes still involves architects or engineers making separate plan submissions to different regulatory agencies. These will include submissions to the Singapore Civil Defence Force, that checks for compliance to fire safety regulations, to the Public Utilities Board that regulates drainage and sewage work, and to the National Parks Board that checks for greenery provisions. And this could lead to conflicting requirements imposed by different regulatory agencies and could in turn result in abortive works that incur significant additional time and cost. To address these issues, we have recently undertaken an extensive change in the regulatory approval process for building works under CoreNetX. CoreNetX is the next generation digital system that replaces CoreNet. CoreNetX serves as a one-stop integrated digital platform that streamlines regulatory approvals and enhances coordination across the entire built environment value chain. It will be implemented in phases, with the first phase launched in December 2023. Submissions via CoreNetX will be mandatory for larger new projects with GFA of at least 30,000 square meters from October this year. This will account for about 75 to 85% of the total GFA of new building plans submitted in a year in Singapore. Under CoreNetX, the industry and the government agencies have worked together to streamline the current approval process into a new coordinated approval process consisting of 3 key submission gateways. CoreNetX will require the industry to collaborate and coordinate their designs upfront to make joint submissions at the key gateways. The agencies will then jointly review the submission and provide a consolidated response. At its core, CoreNetX promotes interoperability and collaboration amongst all stakeholders, including the government regulatory agencies. It represents a major step forward in our push for digital transformation. A key milestone in the CoreNetX journey was the introduction of the IFC-SG, Singapore's localized addition to the International Industry Foundation Classes, or IFC standard, developed by buildingSMART International. IFC Singapore, or IFC-SG, acts as an enabler in enhancing collaboration amongst project parties. Being vendor neutral, all parties are able to read and use the BIM models regardless of the software that they use. By standardizing the information required, all parties will also be able to use the models throughout the different phases of the project lifecycle. The BIM model developed by the consultants at the design stage can be passed on to contractors to guide construction, and eventually to facility managers that manages the building. For a start, we will only require certain larger projects to make the submissions in CoreNetX in this IFC-SG format, but we encourage the industry to do so, even if it may not be mandatory for their projects. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank buildingSMART International as well as the Singapore chapter for their involvement in the development and support of these IFC-SG standards. We are developing new technologies under CoreNetX to deliver added productivity gains for both the industry and regulatory agencies. For example, we will be progressively introducing an automated model checker, which leverages automation to validate building design. This would facilitate pre-checking of submissions by architects and engineers to review the designs and correct any non-compliances before making the submissions. We also intend to explore using artificial intelligence to further improve efficiency and productivity in the regulatory approval process. So we are making good progress and we are building on this strong foundation in our next phase of development. But fundamentally, digital transformation is not just about technology, it's about people. That is why we are committed to supporting firms and its employees as they build up their digital capabilities. To this end, we have made a range of resources and support available to the industry. First, we have the Digital Delivery Management Accreditation Scheme under the Built Environment Skills Framework. The Skills Framework provides individuals with a structured pathway to upskill and advance their careers in digital delivery by providing information on the competencies needed for the different roles. And by being accredited under the accreditation scheme, employees with the relevant skill sets will be recognized professionally, positioning those who invest in their own digital upskilling for more rewarding roles in the sector. That's for employees and individuals. And for firms, we have the Built Environment Industry Digital Plan, or IDP. We recognize that firms face challenges in adopting digital solutions, especially for smaller and mid-sized firms. And it could be due to limited resources or expertise in those firms. And that's the reason why we introduced the industry digital plan in 2020 and more recently refreshed it in 2024, last year. It is a national initiative to support small and medium enterprises in all the different sectors in Singapore. And we have an industry digital plan for different sectors, including the built environment sector. It provides structured guidance to help SMEs in that particular sector to identify the digital solutions that can enhance the operation, improve productivity, and enable more seamless collaboration. So what it means is a customized, bespoke industry digital plan that we develop together with industry representatives, sector by sector, industry by industry, targeting the small and medium enterprises in that sector. Because SMEs in the built environment sector will have very different needs and requirements compared to an SME in the retail or F&B or hospitality sector. For that sector, we develop a digital plan customized for their needs. And when we refreshed the digital solutions roadmap last year, we introduced new and advanced technologies to further drive IDD for the built environment sector. It guides firms to leverage the latest innovations such as AI-powered project management tools, digital twin technology, and cloud-based collaboration platforms. And these solutions that are identified in the industry digital plan for the built environment sector comes with government support of up to 50% to catalyze adoption. Additionally, the refreshed digital skills training roadmap as part of industry digital plan provides a framework for these firms to support their employees to build competencies in digital adoption. It offers targeted training programs at different stages of an employee's careers, helping workers gain the necessary expertise to implement digital solutions effectively. Not just implementing the digital solutions, but to make full use of the digital solutions that they have adopted, we are guiding the firms on the kind of training and upskilling resources that the employees and workers need to have to make full use of the investment that they have made in digital. And as mentioned earlier, these digital solutions within the industry digital plan come with government funding support, such as through the Productivity Solutions Grant. This grant co-funds the firm's purchase of pre-approved digital solutions to improve their productivity. As of December last year, December 2024, we have supported over 1,000 construction and facilities management SMEs in adopting pre-approved solutions since 2020. And I'd like to add that it's not just grant support for the firms adopting digital solutions. The government has also set aside funding support for the firms in sending their employees for retraining and upskilling. So we are not just supporting the firms in adopting technology and digital solutions. We want to support the firms in reskilling, upskilling their workers so they can remain relevant in the workplace, pick up new skills to take on new roles, and make full use of the technology that they have invested in. And earlier this month, the government also announced a new $100 million Built Environment Technology and Capability Grant, or BETC for short, that will be available over the next 5 years. But BETC will provide funding support to eligible firms in the following 3 key areas: enterprise, technology, and manpower. The technology supported under a $100 million BETC will include those that help to drive IDD. This includes solutions related to BIM, virtual reality, augmented reality, remote site supervision, data-driven performance monitoring, and artificial intelligence, amongst other areas. The grant will support qualifying costs such as software, equipment, and professional services. The BETC will be open for application. The BETC will be open for applications from 1st April onwards, and I encourage all our local firms to check out BCA's website for more information. In order to realize the full benefits of digitalization, we need the buy-in and support of all parties in the sector. In this regard, developers play an important role. Developers can specify digital requirements in their project tenders and actively participate throughout the project life cycle. The government, as the largest developer in Singapore, will take the lead. And we are very glad to see many progressive developers such as CapitaLand doing so as well. And we look forward to more developers being part of this effort. So ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by saying that the future of the built environment will increasingly be digital, data-driven, and deeply interconnected. And Singapore is committed to be at the forefront of this transformation. And we look forward to sharing our experience, hearing from all of you from around the world on your experience, and learn from best practices in other jurisdictions. And forums like these today help to encourage such collaboration. And I'd like to wish all of you a fruitful and engaging summit. And most importantly, not just work hard, play hard. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So please also take time to enjoy our city, enjoy the sights, enjoy the food and cuisines, and make new friends. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us here today, SMS Tan, and thank you for your speech. I would now like to invite Eugene and SMS Tan to make their way to tour BuildTech Asia. If we could give one final hand as SMS Tan departs. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude this session. So we did start a little late, about 10 minutes, and we have caught up some, well, actually, I was going to say we caught up some time, but we haven't. We lost it and then we caught it up. We're 10 minutes over schedule. So let's reconvene at 5 past the hour instead of 11 o'clock. So you've got 25 minutes for break. As I mentioned before, the coffees are served just back past the registration desk. You'll see I am now wearing my badges. I'm ready for lunch. Make sure you are. Let's meet back here in 25 minutes to start the second session of the day, mandating openBIM. Thank you.